The fix is in.
It's in.
I'm going to keep saying that because the fix is in. And it's not a conspiracy because this is the first thing they do. They try to say that this is a conspiracy, or they try to gaslight you and tell you to shut up because this is divisive. Well, I'm not going to shut up because this is what people have to know. So first of all, let me talk about Elizabeth Warren's rally. Elizabeth Warren had a rally yesterday where it was in Washington Square Park. And if you've ever been to New York, you know Washington Square Park is one of the most trafficked areas. You have to cross there, and it's a place of gathering in general. She reportedly had about 20,000 people in attendance. All of Twitter. Oh. I'm sorry, you okay? Sorry. I know something's going around.
It's a case of bullshit.
I know. She reportedly had that many people in attendance, and to be fair, like this is a picture of right here where you can see her, her rally, so to speak. And the whole of Twitter and all of the media are reporting 20,000 people in attendance. Elizabeth Warren is leading in the polls. Elizabeth Warren's rise. Elizabeth Warren has been endorsed by the Working Families Party. All of these things combined. They are not a coincidence that this is happening right now. I mean, this is just as orchestrated as it comes. So let's look at the actual reports from people that were there that suggested this actually wasn't accurate and that they were overcounting the numbers. So this is an article from, I believe, the Huffington Post. It says, Warren's show of force Monday evening was seemingly aimed at showcasing her strength to progressive bastions that were once Sanders' exclusive stomping grounds. The Vermont senator drew massive crowds to a rally in the same park in April 2016, claiming about 27,000 people attended, but those claims were valid. Warren's campaign said more than 20,000 people attended the rally, making it her largest to date. A spokesperson for the City Department of Parks and Recreation told Huffington Post that officials believe that the park's capacity is 10,000 and that Warren's event had a permit for 8 to 10,000 people. The city said it could not corroborate Warren's crowd estimate. So because the crowd estimate that we were seeing didn't come from any Parks and Rec person, it came directly from Warren's campaign. Yeah. So there's strike one. Strike two.
Again. Sorry, my bad.
This is from where was this from? I thought I cited it. I think I linked it. But I'll let you guys know at the bottom. So this is Washington Square Park. Oh, this is Vox. So Washington Square Park is in the high traffic part of the city, meaning the rally crowd was a mix of Warren supporters, people trying to hang out in the park, and people trying to walk through it. Ben, a 24-year-old student at NYU, heard about the rally earlier in the month and had forgotten it was happening until he was on his way home after school. And then if we scroll down, it says, this is why he's voting for Elizabeth Warren. I have to read this because this is funny. Elizabeth Warren is a strong policy-minded candidate who not only had clearly thought about various policies in detail, but has come to what I think is a good position on most of them. I haven't specifically poured through her policy proposals because there are 100,000 of them. So I want to point out something here. People who support Bernie or support Tulsi are very aware of the policies that they push. They can name them. They can name them off like this. People who support Warren, and I've seen this on numerous videos. I have to admit, someone sent me a right-wing video with the girl going around and asking people like why they support Warren, and they can't name a single legislation as to why they want to support her. So want specifics. Like I don't care if you support Warren, just give me specifics as to why you're going to support them. Don't say there's too many to support, because if anyone has too many to support, that it's Bernie Sanders.
Well, that's the thing, fam. Why is it so? Why are we so like? The whole thing is that you if you support most of Elizabeth Warren's policies, then you support most of Bernie Sanders' policies. They're all his policies from years past. Right. Why all of a sudden does she get to co-opt it, and then you think that she's a better choice? I don't get it.
But and they can't even be specific about that either. So the other image I wanted to show is that Elizabeth Warren talks about corruption. She said, corruption has put our planet at risk. Corruption has broken our economy, and corruption is breaking our democracy. I know what's broken. I've got a plan to fix it. And that's why I'm running for president of the United States. Here's the thing that I have with her statement. We can't fix it. It's broken. You can't fix it anymore. If you continue fixing it, you're going to continue patching up a leg that should be chopped off, but you're just going to continue like trying to fix it, and eventually you're going to kill the entire body because you're not really solving the core issue of the problem. You can't fix it.
So what do we do?
You need a whole new system. And the only person offering that, in comparison to Elizabeth Warren, is Bernie Sanders. I mean, he's literally running as a democratic socialist against this whole capitalist oligarchy. She wants to work within the system and the market. And bottom line, that's not going to work, and it's not going to beat Donald Trump.
She's more of a capitalist than Bernie Sanders is. Bernie Sanders is more of a socialist than she is.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
She's a capitalist in her bones.
Well, her best plans are all socialist policies of sorts, and I'm saying wiping out student debt. That's a socialist mentality. Let's help out our citizens, our students.
But if you're following a capitalist plan, how do you plan on implementing that?
Well, that's the thing. I don't trust her to implement it. And I've never trusted her. I've never trusted her from day one since she sat on the sidelines and let Bernie just go out there while Tulsi got up and walked away and gave up her power. Elizabeth Warren hid in the back till she can obtain more power, which she did.
And she
did it for
continues
power and strength. She
to do that as well.
She didn't do the right thing when it counted. You know what I'm saying? And I don't trust her to do the right thing down the road. And she's so flip-floppy on everything. And also, just, guys, zero, terrible on foreign policy. I don't care about her answer on Afghanistan the other day. That was scripted. She said it too quick. Nice try, by the way. But please, she's just terrible on foreign policy. And I believe we do also have a video of a Warren supporter, Nico House, when we went to the California Democratic Convention. He did ask a Warren person, I've got a plan. So there is a little interesting interview over there if you want to go see it. She sounds like she was a Bernie Sanders supporter that just,
Oh, yeah, on the KDM.
How about her going around with Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
How can you not 86 or right? I'm like...
Well, no, because Hillary Clinton can get her the support she needs. So
she's the new Hillary Clinton, let's be honest.
I want to mention another thing regarding her support. A woman said that, she likes Bernie, but he's not quite what she's looking for. I've always liked Bernie, but I think with Elizabeth, she's got real world experience in doing stuff. Also, quite frankly, these white guys have fucked up this country for so long. Okay, I mean, I get where you're coming from to a degree.
I'm gonna screw it up on this couch.
Listen,
so stupid.
What stuff? Like, be specific, okay? And again, with the identity politics, Bernie Sanders has actually done. There's an amendment. There's a list of amendments this man has passed. So,
yeah,
let's
Can I
be
say
real
something?
here.
I'm not voting for Bernie Sanders if it's him and Donald Trump because he's a white guy. You know what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with my personal opinion. Why he's white is his policies.
Yeah.
His mindset, his character. I trust him on all those issues. And I've been very critical of Bernie when it comes to some of the foreign policy, even though he's been a lot better than most of those people out of all those people on that stage this last time, because Tulsi wasn't there. He was by far better in foreign policy. He needs to get better. But however, he's just got a long track record of being who he is, of fighting for the things he wants to. Medicare for all is not something new. You've heard Bernie Sanders for years. So I think we still have to start looking at people's policies, the content of their character, and if we can trust them or not. That's what we should be voting on people for.
Absolutely.
Is that
a new one?
That's a Nico Giovanna.
Hi, Nico Giovanna.
Giovanna Liviana. Y'all know there are super chats on your channel now. Giovanna, we know that, so why don't you go on over to the combo couch and give us a super chat over there. Click on that one over there real quick, and then click over there on your page.
I just want to see if okay, great. So the one more
Bobby Black.
I want a couple tweets in support of also what the other news outlets have reported. Bobby Black. It was a few thousand and most were already there since it's a crowded public place. It's like showing up in the middle of Times Square and then claiming everyone in a 5-block radius is there to see you and calling it a rally. Shows how desperate these people are. Banicula. This figure didn't come from NYPD or Fire Marshal. It's from Liz's campaign. Misleading, but of course every outlet took it as gospel. So yes. So when Bernie Sanders had more people than that, the media didn't give it the attention. He had reportedly between 27,000 and 28,000 people. Here are the pictures of his rally where you can actually see what that would look like.
And it was cold.
Because look at that.
It was cold.
And look at this one. The last one right here really shows just how ridiculous that is. I mean, that is so many people. And Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show that. I also want to show
You got a tweet
about the process of the Working Families Party, fam, just to kind of, because you are aware of what happened there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, not completely. I haven't watched your video yet, but
okay.
But I woke up in the morning, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no, Fiorella's gonna be pissed, and she's gonna do a show. And as soon as I walked out, I'm pissed, fam. I'm like, oh, it's the working parties.
Well, okay, so I just want to clarify to all of you here. I'm not. There's a lot of people saying, "Why are you guys pissed? Didn't you realize that I mean, they've endorsed Cuomo, they've endorsed over AOC, they've endorsed over what's his name, over Suffer Trechout. I know they're corrupt. We've known this, that they're corrupt. We've known for a while that they are parading as progressive and they're really not. That's not the point. The point is that they are saying that their process is democratic, and it's not. And anybody telling you that is lying to you or doesn't really know how the process went about. So I want to show this video of
the tweet.
Yeah, this is video of
Cuomo,
the national organizer for the Working Families Party, who was asked by Cuomo why you chose Elizabeth Warren over Bernie. It was about 25 seconds.
National Director for the Working Families Party joining me now. Pleasure to see you.
Pleasure, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So, why Warren and not Sanders?
So let me just first say that it's 2019 and we have two structural change, big, bold, progressive candidates that have built huge grassroots followings in the democratic process.
But you picked one. Why?
Right. And so our grassroots members and our volunteers and our state committee, we engaged in a very long process and we came out. And I'm so proud of the process and so proud that we chose Elizabeth Warren. And let me tell you why. So, I mean, if you look at her, you know, they joke about she has a plan for it, right? But if you look at it and you take a step back, so Green New Deal, so we could save the planet, a historically big picture housing policy, Medicare for all, to take the insurance companies between you and your doctor, right? So healthcare could be a right and not a commodity that's traded.
Bernie
right?
does the same things,
Right.
and he wrote the damn bill.
That's absolutely right, and we have so much respect for Bernie and his followers. And in 2016, we endorsed Bernie. In 2020, you have a field of dozens of candidates, and so we wanted to engage in a process that was deeply democratic, where we could decide early what to do, even as the field was still shaking out. The reason we did it is because that time is one resource that when you lose it, you never could recoup.
Fine. So what was the difference between the two with so much sameness?
So what I could talk about positively is why we endorsed Warren. And again, like I have nothing but positive things to say about Bernie, his followers, and his movement. And I think it's a plus for working people, the people that we represent, that we have two candidates that are advancing this. And I think, you know, you saw the debate stage where they flanked each other, right? And so we want to encourage that with fellow travelers who agree with the policy change in both camps to flank these ideas and to organize. And we encourage other organizations.
I'm with you, but here's why I'm pushing.
In. Please,
here's why I'm pushing.
Let's go.
Because
let's do it.
no, let's get after it. Here's why.
Yeah.
Because you could argue they're splitting the vote. Okay? And I'm asking you why.
He can't really answer.
Oh, I wanted to see that. Yeah, I wanted to see that now because I want to hear what this donkey has to say. Because let me tell you something. This whole thought process that Elizabeth Warren is progressive, you're forgetting about the progressive golden rule, was where do you get your money? Okay? And Fiorella has showed plenty of times on this show right here where Elizabeth Warren's money is coming from. And it is dirty. Is it not, fam?
It is dirty. And I've been called left QAnon by
QAnon left.
Emma for that. But the reality is he can't answer that because there's no answer. First of all, it wasn't a democratic process, number one. Number two, if you're saying you're supporting Elizabeth Warren for the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and talking about housing, Bernie Sanders has been doing that for 40 years. So why are you supporting Elizabeth Warren over that? And you're saying that that everybody came through and engaged in this long process when that's not the reality. And I'm going to go on to show you guys how that's not the reality of what happened here and how he's lying through his teeth. And even Cuomo is pointing it out. Like, but really, like, give me an answer.
Can I see what he has to say?
Sure.
Can we go back to that video and play the rest? I want to hear what this guy has to say. Let me see this over here.
Why her and not him when it was him the last time? And when you say why you picked her, I'm not arguing with your reasons. You're allowed to your process. But they check the same boxes.
Well, listen, we did a ranked choice vote. So we didn't just...
this was a vote of members.
This was a vote of members and our national committee, which are grassroots activists that are part of people's organizations.
And more voted for her than him.
Absolutely.
So that's what it was.
And now we're moving forward with our candidate, and we couldn't be more proud. And the other thing I want to say is that we want to encourage other organizations to choose their candidate and to organize under their candidate. Our message is that we have to start organizing.
What if one of them doesn't win? What if it's Biden? What if it's Buttigieg? What if it's one of the others? Will you back them?
Let me be clear, right? What's clear to me, what's clear to everybody watching TV right now is like when you look at the Democratic stage and you look at the last debate, those folks, there's a C between them and Donald Trump, right? There's a C between them and Donald Trump. But right now, the conversation is about the nomination. And we think that the right strategy is a bold, progressive policy prescription. We think that that's the right strategy to be the Democratic nominee and to defeat Trump. We think both are aligned.
So here's what I want to do.
Okay.
You are the blue-collar component of that party in its most active form, right? That's why your endorsement matters. That's why I'm happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
As we go on with the campaign, I believe that whoever captures the head and heart of the working families in this country is going to be the true product of change.
That's right.
Culturally, because they are the people who now must recognize that culturally and economically, they have the most at stake.
No argument here.
Okay, great.
Wow. I did like his analysis at the very end. I'm not a big Cuomo guy, but whoever does capture the hearts of the working class family is going to win this election. And what makes you think that Elizabeth Warren
has
get the F out of here?
Majority of affluent support and literally not ethnically diverse. So I'm just there. Like he's lying. He is essentially sucks because he is lying, and I want to explain to you guys why he's lying.
Go ahead.
Bottom line, this process wasn't democratic. And before I go and explain to you guys, I want you to see exactly how other organizations are turning this around. The Sunrise Movement, who has been largely criticized on Twitter, and I have refrained from criticism because they're pretty good, but they're propping up Elizabeth Warren now, talking about how she is it. Read her plan to end Washington corruption so we can make our government work for working families again. Put over people over profits and end with a Green New Deal. The Green New Deal came from Bernie Sanders. That was his idea. That was his thing. So is taking money out of politics. How are you going to end Washington corruption by taking its money, Warren supporters? She's taking their money one way or another, and she's going to if she gets to the general, thereby defeating the whole not taking money, which she already told us. So I don't understand the logic here. It's a circular logic. Then, of course, to my great disappointment, one of Bernie's surrogates comes in, Sean King. I admonish other fellow Bernie supporters to take the disappointment in stride. Don't insult the Working Families Party. That's dumb. The process they have for endorsements is as fair and accessible as any in the nation. Yeah. Let's keep pushing for good. Bullshit. The process is not fair and as accessible. And I invite you to learn about how the process came about so maybe you can change your mind. Another one. Linda Sarsour.
Can you get to this one, Linda Sarsour?
Brian, I promise you we are in this together. We are going to work our hearts out for the candidate, but the important thing is we have to defeat fascism in 2020. So already we're kind of pivoting to blue no matter who right here from a person that's supposedly all in for Bernie. She also...
We got to defeat fascism. Let me take money from Google and go defeat fascism, who's the biggest fascist in the world, please.
And she also retweeted this thing about putting up someone who worked for working families and Democratic Socialists. I'd like to see both Warren and Bernie Sanders teams mobilize across the country and against Biden, together drawing endless volunteer energy from each movement, doubling our reach. Warren and Bernie are not the same. Can we stop putting them like they're like equally, like that Warren's actually going to
Maher
change
says that.
anything, that Warren's actually going to change anything. She is not. If anything, she is there to literally be the compromise so people can feel like Bernie isn't viable, that she can win, and that once again we get stuck with the lesser of evils, and then once again Donald Trump wins the presidency. Because believe you me, if she gets to be the nominee, Donald Trump will win.
Yeah.
And he will win greatly.
She has
and
no chance of beating him.
This movement
None.
will only probably get more violent.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us want that. And again, she says,
Feel good story.
we need good news. So happy. Oh yeah, this is a different one. I'm still Bernie Sanders as a champion for working families, but I value democracy in all its forms, including at the working families. Congrats to Warren. And at the end of the day, work your heart out in this primary and get ready for November 2020. We are all in this together. Of course, we are all in this together if you're a progressive. But if you're not a progressive, then no, our values don't line up. And I think the biggest issue I have with a Bernie surrogate saying this, and, you know, this isn't to criticize Bernie or the campaign, I'm specifically speaking to these two people, is that they're dismissing the corruption that of what happened. It's not about the endorsement. Again, it's about the way it was conducted and how they're saying that they're progressive and that they're representative of working families when they are not. So let's just get to it. This is exactly how the process was not democratic. There is a Medium article that this gentleman wrote that was really well written, and you guys should check it out. But it was designed to show this graph of how much exactly the percentages that Warren would have to get to win the overall vote. So he puts out, if 22% of Working Families Party members voted for Warren, only 22% of the members voted for Warren, then 100% of the Working Families Party leaders had to vote for Warren to achieve 60.9% of the weighted vote, because their vote is weighted. Mm-hmm. So on the flip side, if 80% of the Working Families members voted for Warren, then 41.8% of the Working Families leaders had to vote for Warren to achieve 60.9% vote. If you believe, as is obvious, that the reason that the Working Families Party won't release a membership vote total time, it's because Warren did not win the membership vote. Then this means Warren got anywhere from 22 to 40% of the member vote. This further means that 82 to 100% of the Working Families leadership voted for Warren. This is a stark split they don't want to reveal, but are nevertheless very incompetent at hiding.
So wait a second. So what's the numbers of the actual members that kind of voted for Warren?
We don't have the tally. They
Okay.
won't release the differing votes.
Gotcha. But in other words, it's almost like a super delegate vote once again.
Absolutely,
Or
it's
a
a
Clio's
superdelegate.
when he gets more pledges. In other
Yeah.
words, the leadership of the working what's it called? The Working
Families Party.
Families Party has weighted votes, and the leadership gets
Yeah.
pretty much dictate what happens.
It's what we saw here with Kimberly Ellis and
Absolutely.
and
Where she got more of the actual delegate votes, the actual elected delegate votes, the Clios,
Yes.
which were appointed by the legislator in the body, they got more of those votes because they put in their hand-picked people.
yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly what happened. And so for anybody to say that this was democratic, to me, is an insult to our intelligence. It is an insult to our movement. It is an insult to everything that we stand for. It was nothing democratic. And the fact is, Pasta, that yesterday in the video, I spoke about how they released these tallies in 2015. When they released it, this time they're saying they can't because their process, it goes against their process of having a secret ballot, because the secret ballot they can differentiate between that. So
Things Done Change. Biggie Smalls. It was on his first album. Really good song.
Let it be very clear that people who are telling you this process was democratic are lying, or they're pretending, they're ignorant of the facts, whatever. They might not know this breakdown, but that's the breakdown. And math and numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So
and the fact that they won't release it says everything.
it says everything.
Non-diplôme